As a TV camera supervisor turned content creator who's now made over 750 short form pieces of content and is building a business off the back of it, I've learned that there are 8 things that you need to put into your social media videos that will change your fortunes. It's about building your reputation, building your personal brand. We want to make your videos really describable, so even if people don't know your name, they can describe a video and people can recognize when they watch it. So let's get going.
Number 1. Clothing.
Most people shoot content in whatever clothes they've fallen out of bed into. And let's be honest, I'm a man in my late 40s with a greying beard, and if I was to just try and describe myself, it starts to turn into generic man number 4. But if I turn up wearing this bright red jacket every time, or something equally as bright, people go, there's a guy who is outside who wears bright clothing. That's the first thing that someone can describe about my videos. And it works really well because I can be further away on a shot and you'll still be able to notice me. It works in both ways. It's a really good thing to do.
Number 2. The environment.
I think it's massively important because this whole landscape that I shoot in is part of my soul in a way. I know it sounds crazy and deep, but most creators are sat in their office with sort of beige walls. And if I can bring some elements that people aren't expecting into my content, then that's just going to stand out like mad. So now I'm the generic man in his very red clothing in this amazing landscape, and I'm using that as an extra character in all my pieces.
Number 3. Graphics.
Graphics on short form content especially is a really tricky subject because most people, when they get into the edit, will just throw on random things they found on CapCut, those kind of presets. But the people who get the most love tend to show the most love in their captions. So I will design this. I'm not sure what's going to be here, but I'm going to use a certain font which I'll use on all of my content, which I use BBAS because it's bold. And when you're on short form content, you want to stop that scroll pretty quick. So this bit of text is here to capture the imagination of the people watching really fast. So I'm trying to get a text hook in shorts and in reels down to about 5 words. And once I do that, and they're big bold text, and you can read those really quickly, you're going to read that first, and then you're going to move on to the captions. So make sure you put a bit of extra effort in to these main title graphics, and then we'll move on to our next one.
Number 4. Captions.
Now, a lot of the editing software that you find online will try and make these bits of graphics really flashy. But if you think about it from a viewer's perspective, you're trying to get a message across. So you want these, well, I believe you want these to be as simple as possible. There's a thing around how much contrast there is. So I use white on black so you can see it all the time really quickly. And you don't want to slow people reading this down because a lot of people on Reels are not watching with the sound up. So you want to make this as easy as possible. When you start putting loads of crazy animations and the time those words are on screen gets less and less. So I want to get my words on screen really punchy and really simple to read. So have a think about that when you create your next reel. And if you want me to mentor you with my wife Christy inside our supportive community of the studio, details are in the description below. Anyway, on with the list.
Number 5. Music.
When you create content with music, you really need to think about the mood you want to get your viewer into. So my content is about inspiring people to get out and make content for themselves. So I need something that's like got some emotions, got some beat to it, but I'm trying to get people to do it, so I'm trying to have a laid back kind of vibe as well as that beat. And if I went onto the platforms like Instagram and said, right, give me some music, there'll be trending audios or things that are too fast. And if you post on multiple platforms, you're going to run into copyright issues. So I prefer to use Artlist. So if you go through my content, you'll notice that it has a similar vibe, and I found that style on there, but it's also consistent. It's fine. And I'm never going to get a copyright strike because it's all sorted. And whenever I've used any other sort of music, it's not gone very well. Just make sure you've thought about that music that you put on that content a little bit more than most people do, and you'll be fine. Right, next.
Number 6. Language.
Now this is a really simple one, and that's really the point. It makes such a difference when you keep your language as concise and simple as possible. If you look at content on LinkedIn, people are trying to act like they know more by speaking in business speak. But the content that really hits, and the stuff that I've found that really works, is when you keep the language as simple as possible. We talk about it in other places, like in copywriting, where you're trying to write for a 7-year-old. Do the same in your video scripts, and you'll do well.
Number 7. Shots.
So let's talk about the shots that you use. It's only really 3 or 4 shots you need in your arsenal to make a big difference. So as long as you have a wide shot, a mid shot, which is a shot from the waist up with not too much space above you, so it's nicely framed, and then an even tighter shot where you can say things which could be emotional if you need them. If you have those 3 shots, you've got it made. And if you want some extra shots, then you can cut to your surroundings or cut to something you're holding.
Number 8. Frequency.
And last but no means least, it's probably the most important thing. Show up often, because personal branding is all about the idea that someone else has of you in their head. So the more advice you can give them about that, the better. If you can show up really regularly, giving them actionable advice that they can actually do, and you're supporting them, it's going to be amazing. The changes that I've seen from my content by just posting really regularly, the momentum that you build is just something special. And if you want to know how to do the first 3 seconds faster, have a look at this video. And if you want to subscribe to me, you'll get more inspiration like this. All right, I'll speak to you soon. See ya.